Weight of Memory, Episode 18, The 1915 Sinhalese Muslim Riots, Ethno-Religious Tensions and Colonial Repression. The 1915 Sinhalese Muslim Riots were a violent and widespread conflict that erupted in British Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, between Sinhalese Buddhists and Muslim Moors, lasting from May 28 to August 8, 1915. Though initially sparked by a local dispute, the riots quickly escalated into a national crisis, prompting the British colonial government to impose martial law and carry out brutal reprisals. Background and causes: religious and cultural tensions. The immediate trigger was a dispute over a Buddhist Vesak procession passing a Muslim mosque in Gampola. Muslims objected to the use of traditional drums and music near their place of worship. The conflict reflected deeper ethno-religious tensions, especially between Sinhalese Buddhists and Indian Moors, who had recently gained economic dominance in trade and commerce. Colonial policies and legal disputes. British laws like the Police Ordinance of 1865 and Local Boards Ordinance of 1898 restricted religious expression, including noise during worship. A legal battle over procession rights culminated in a Supreme Court ruling favoring the mosque, which many Buddhists saw as a betrayal of their cultural traditions and economic rivalries. The Indian Moors, a subgroup of the Muslim community, had displaced Ceylon Moors in trade, especially in rice importation and retail. This economic shift created resentment among Sinhalese traders and consumers, fueling anti-Muslim sentiment. Key leaders and figures. Sir Robert Chalmers, governor of Ceylon, criticized for his harsh response and later recalled. Brigadier General H.L. Malcolm led military suppression under martial law. Herbert Dowbiggin, Inspector General of Police, oversaw mass arrests and executions. Sir Ponnambalam Ramanathan, Tamil legislator who defended Sinhalese leaders in the Legislative Council, condemning British excesses. W. Pereira, lawyer and patriot who smuggled documents to England in his shoe to expose colonial abuses and rally support for the Sinhalese cause. Many Sinhalese leaders involved in the temperance movement, anti-alcohol campaign, were arrested despite having no role in the violence. These arrests were seen as an attempt to suppress emerging nationalist voices. The riots and British response date event, May 28, 1915. Vesak procession attack near mosque in Gampola. May 30 to 31 riots spread to Kandy and Colombo. June 2nd, martial law declared in Western and Sabaragamuwa provinces. June-August summary executions, mass arrests, and destruction of property. August 30th, martial law lifted. Casualties: over 115 deaths, including 63 killed by police/military, 189 injured, 4,075 shops looted, 250 burned, and 17 mosques destroyed. The riots exposed the fragility of communal harmony under colonial rule and the dangers of the British divide and rule strategy. The repression galvanized nationalist movements, laying the groundwork for future independence efforts. The event remains a cautionary tale about the manipulation of ethnic tensions for political control. Sources and further reading. Wikipedia, 1915 Sinhalese Muslim Riots, Sunday Times Heritage feature Lanka, Web Historical Analysis. During the suppression of the 1915 Sinhalese Muslim Riots, the British colonial administration relied heavily on auxiliary forces, including Gurkha soldiers from the British Indian Army and Malay personnel who had previously served in the disbanded Ceylon Rifle Regiment. Gurkha soldiers. Deployment: Gurkhas were brought in from British India as part of the emergency response to the riots, especially after martial law was declared on June 2, 1915. Role: they were tasked with quelling unrest, enforcing curfews, and conducting summary executions under martial law. Impact: their presence added a layer of fear and intimidation as Gurkhas were known for their discipline and combat prowess. They operated under direct orders from British officers and were involved in door-to-door raids and mass arrests. Malay soldiers and police background. Many Malays had served in the Ceylon Rifle Regiment, which was disbanded in 1873. Afterward, they joined the Ceylon police force as constables. Role in 1915. Malay personnel were part of the local policing effort, especially in urban areas like Colombo and Kandy. They assisted in crowd control, guarding key installations, and enforcing colonial ordinances. Their involvement reflects the complex dynamics of colonial policing, where minority groups were often employed to enforce imperial authority over the majority population. Thus, these forces were instrumental in the brutal suppression of the riots, which resulted in over 100 deaths, thousands of arrests, and widespread destruction of property. Their deployment underscores the colonial strategy of using non-local troops to enforce control and minimize sympathy with the local population.